before we get into more of this character analysis, let me tell you my thoughts on Peter Jackson's Kong. This film is not just a film to me. It's an event, because I tend to only watch the 2-disc extended edition that's almost 4 hours long, so it's like, strap in for the day, we're watching Kong 05. I understand the criticisms this movie gets about the length and the melodramatic nature of it and the fact it takes place back in the 30s, but I can't get mad at this movie because in many ways this is how I would do Kong as well. I like the way James Rolfe put it. This isn't just a remake, it's more of an extension, a loving tribute that expands the world we already love with a ton of in-jokes and references.
Phase a size for me. Yes, she is, but she is doing a picture with RKO. Cooper, huh? I might have known.
I think it's safe to say Peter Jackson and I love the original maybe too much. But one of the best things this movie does is the character of Kong. It explores the idea I mentioned before of making a giant monster sympathetic, and does it very well. While you feel bad for the original Kong because he was cool and has a bit of an attitude and childlike playfulness to him, this movie makes you feel for Kong because we actually get to know him. Andy Serkis, the master of motion capture and the only guy who ever made a CG character seem real, plays Kong, and he seriously deserves an Oscar for some of his performances. Maybe this, but especially Caesar in the new Planet of the Apes movies. There were times you felt like you knew what Kong was feeling in the original, but his facial expressions were still very animal-like at times, so you couldn't really be sure what you thought he was feeling was exactly what he was feeling. Here in the 05 version, Kong's movements and look is very realistic to an actual silverback gorilla, but his facial expressions were carefully mo-capped and animated so we know exactly what he's feeling. And in that regard, it works with flying colors. As the film goes on, we see Kong change and evolve emotionally, and it's done with little to no dialogue. That's impressive. Much like Frankenstein's monster or Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Kong is not a bad guy, just misunderstood.
And you always fear what you don't understand.
As Kong goes through these changes, so do we as an audience, and much like Anne, we see a side to him no one else has or will ever see, making us only more attached to him as you would a pet or a person. People criticize this movie using the simple analysis that Anne wants to fuck the monkey or something, or that she's just as in love with Kong as he is with her, but that's not the case. Once again, she just sees his soft side and knows he's not as bad a creature as he's said to be, and feels bad for him in a way. Is she partly responsible for this side becoming more prominent in him? Yes, but you also gotta believe that that side of him was always there. It just took someone kind to help him expose it. She stood up to him, and that demoralizes him.
I said no! That's all there is. There isn't any more.
Then he becomes more confused when he can't bring himself to kill her, and to make things worse, he throws a childish tantrum and embarrasses himself in front of her. They are now on equal levels, and Kong isn't as kingly as he thought he was. Although Cooper didn't like people overanalyzing his movie, I think this idea was there from the start.